special night at Ellison Field. The festivities are apparent as it's senior night for Petaluma boys lacrosse, but a lot more on the line as they face the Windsor Jaguars next on Trojan Live.
Touchdown, Trojans! Unbelievable!
And good evening from Steve Ellison Field. I'm Griffin Epstein for Petaluma boys lacrosse in their final regular season home game of the season. Besides the battle for the paddle, 11 seniors being honored tonight for Trojan lacrosse, but it's also an important game for the league standings as the Trojans are battling for a first round home game in the VBAL tournament, and they can also clinch an NCS playoff position with a win tonight as their season gets towards the business end, but they'll have to be alert facing a feisty Windsor Jaguar team that gave them some trouble last time around. It's a beautiful night for lacrosse here at Steve Ellison Field, and the full game is coming up next right here on Trojan Live. Players have taken the field here at Steve Ellison Field. Petaluma in the white with the purple trim, Windsor in the black with the gold trim. Windsor will go to the right and Petaluma to the left to start this first quarter. 4 quarters, 12 minutes, as the Trojans try to get back atop 500 and keep their spot in VBAL, currently tied for second place. We're underway. Get a quick whistle off the face-off, and it's going to be Trojan ball. Petaluma will have its senior ceremony after the game, so might help the Trojans a little bit. It gets really emotional when you have that senior ceremony before the game. Speaking of seniors, there goes Garrett Freitas right down the middle and scoring. No resistance from this Jaguar defense, and Freitas the easy goal to quickly make it 1-0 Petaluma. Well, senior ceremony after the game, but Freitas starting the fireworks right off the opening whistle. What an electric player for Petaluma. Off the face-off, and an easy score. You got to put a body on him. He's so athletic and so speedy. Literally 12 seconds, and the Trojans already up 1-0 on Windsor. A tough way to start things if you're the Jaguars, who really want a victory. Another shot is fired and scored. Oh, the Trojans are coming off with an electric start. Dom Butts gets into the senior party with a wrister. Freitas on the assist, and Butts continues his surge. Butts had 7 goals against Rancho Cotati in a game we were at 2 weeks ago here at Steve Ellison Field. He scored 5 goals twice against Cardinal Newman. And only Casa Grande so far has been able to stop him in the Vine Valley Athletic League. The Trojans have been impressive. And the Trojans looking for more as Freitas fires wide and stays Trojan ball. If you're Windsor here, they've won just 1 game on the season. We're coming out here on a senior night, maybe hoping the Trojan emotion gets the best of them. Getting off to a quick start. So far, I haven't been able to do that. Nice check there by the Jaguar defender to poke it away. Freitas has it in his clutches. Not even a minute gone, already 2-0 Petaluma. Inside to Butts, so dangerous as he gets it across. Got flags, poles, some balloons for the seniors here tonight. 11 seniors being honored for Petaluma. It's a large senior class, not as acclaimed as last year's for certain for Petaluma lacrosse, but they have certainly had big contributions as well. As Freitas goes in, top shelf finish. 3-0, what a senior night to start for Garrett Freitas. One of the most athletic players we've ever seen step onto Steve Ellison Field, and he is starting this one off in spectacular style. 3-0 Petaluma, and we're just a minute 10 into this one. Has to be a defeating start if you're Windsor. They've just been unable to get any control so far and put a body on a defender. Freitas has won all 3 face-offs to start. Such a key part of lacrosse, and get possession. Make it 4 for the senior. Windsor able to stop his run finally this time. Ratto takes a go for it. Nice save is made finally by the Jaguar goalkeeper, Kyle Goodfellow, sophomore. Around and a hard check. Howard tried to get around, but the Jaguar defenders had some resistance that time. That was Gonzalez, I should say. The Trojans able to gain possession. Excellent energy by Petaluma to start here. The Trojans' biggest issue has been keeping their energy up consistently and continuing to search for goals. See if Petaluma can continue that throughout this first quarter, even with a quick start. Butts probing. Hard check. Fights it off. It's nothing. Fires it towards the goal, and it's knocked away. Windsor just cannot gain possession right now. Just struggling to grab hold of the ball. It's hard to win a game like that. Butts right down Main Street, and the save is made. Nice play by Goodfellow. And as it rolls out, we'll stay Petaluma ball. 3-0 the Trojans. 9:35 remaining here in the first quarter. A beautiful evening at Steve Ellison Field on a Wednesday night. Freitas got it poked away as it's out to Devanus. The sophomore dip into darting the youth on this team, and he scores! Devanus has his first varsity goal. A big moment for him, as you can see, and it was all him dipping and darting past this Windsor defense that just could not contain the athleticism of Petaluma. 4-0 Trojans, and fans are still filing in. Yeah, Petaluma already has a stranglehold early on this one. 9:18 still to go, not even 3 minutes gone. Trojans' energy coming out could not be better after a tough loss last night to Miramonte. An 8-6 loss to a good Matadors team. Petaluma battled hard, unable to pull out the victory in a non-league affair, and drop them back to 500. A victory tonight puts them in control for a position in the NCS playoffs, and they'd be able to clinch a spot next Wednesday against Rancho Cotati with a victory. Trojans already beat Rancho earlier this season. These teams played previously about 3 weeks ago up in Windsor. Trojans took an early lead, not as big as this one, but also were comfortably out in front. But Windsor was able to battle back in that game, make it interesting in the fourth quarter. And as we talked about in the open, this Jaguar team is feisty. They're not going to go down without a fight. No, they're struggling early here. They're going to hang around. 13-8 was the final there. Petaluma was up 9 goals. Windsor cut it all the way to 5. As that one's fired wide by Gonzalez. The lead was actually cut down to 3 before Petaluma extended it. Jaguars have lost a lot of close ones this season, even though they sit at the bottom of the VVL standings without a league victory. Butts adds to his total. Easy finish for him. That's just not good defense by Windsor. You gotta get in the way of the attacker, or a skilled lacrosse player like Dominic Butts. He's been playing all his life. On his senior night, he's gonna shine. 5-0. Butts has 2 goals already. Freitas has 2, and Devanus, the sophomore, with 1. Trojans will have the rest of the week off. Back-to-back games yesterday and today. Everyone would love to close out senior night with a big victory, honor its seniors. It's a young Jaguar team, only a couple seniors. It's a program that's 5 years old, but they didn't have a club team before they became a varsity sport. Founded completely as a newborn. Petaluma also was an official sport 5 years ago, but they had a club team dating back to the beginning of this century. So they had established players in town. Windsor's really started it with players that haven't played lacrosse before. Ball is knocked in front and scored. Ratto gets the goal. He had the initial shot, It deflected, picked it up, and scored. And Windsor just cannot even put their ball in their stick right now. It is a remarkable struggle for them, and the Trojans lead 6-0. Absolute domination here early. Windsor started 5 years ago really with players that mostly hadn't played lacrosse, built the program from scratch, and it's been hard. They haven't been able to build a lot of consistency. Scott Goodfellow, their head coach, their third coach in the last 5 years. All 5 years they've been an official program. Stability is so vital to building a program, attracting players, having someone buy in. Haven't been able to find that yet. Don't have a winning record yet. Petaluma, a history of success, including an undefeated NBL championship last year. The Trojans with 2 league losses so far this year, though. Here's Freitas. 2 goals already for the Trojan. He can make some impressive moves. He just fires wide. And Goodfellow has had a rough afternoon to start. But Windsor still does not have possession. Windsor has not had possession at all 5 minutes into this one. Not a single look at possession. There's domination, and then there's whatever this is. Many students in the audience tonight supporting the seniors. It's an excellent crowd. A lot of parents watching their kids play their final game here at Steve Allison Field. It's not actually their final game. The Trojans will play at home next Friday, battle for the paddle game against Casa Grande, but the significance of that one, you don't have your senior night typically when you play Casa. They get it inside to Gonzalez. It's knocked away. Goodfellow has it in his net, and this could just mean possession for Windsor. Just kidding, though. Not a good pass at all. And it heads all the way down to Cher, who could have gotten a lot done for whatever he wanted to in the last 6 minutes. Windsor not gotten a look at the senior goalkeeper playing his final regular season game here. Gonzalez trying to fire. It's knocked away. It's going to be Windsor ball. Halfway through this first half, or first quarter, I should say. All Petaluma early, 6-0. So Windsor finally may be able to get into their offense here. They've got to make sure to clear it first. Nice aggression. The Jaguars take it up, and for the first time this evening, halfway through the first quarter, they can try to get something going. It's a Windsor team that struggles to score, no doubt, and struggles with possession. Played Casa earlier this year, they didn't score a goal. Shutouts are almost unheard of in lacrosse. Other game against Casa, they lost 22-5. The Gauchos are at a different level for lacrosse this year. 12th best team, 13th best team in California. Patience here from Windsor. Come around and fire over the head of Cher.
Shot, Catcoy.
Catcoy on the shot for the young Jags. And it stays Jaguar ball. Petaluma 5-2 in league, trying to go to 6-2 with a victory tonight. With only 2 more league games remaining after this next week. The Trojans in a tie for second place with Justin Siena. They've split the series. Both teams still have to play Casa Grande. If both lose, as would be the expectation, it would come down to goal differential to decide when those two play each other for the rubber match in the VVAL tournament, who would be at home. Delay of game on Petaluma, and we'll go back to Windsor. need any break they can get, I would say, at this point. As Nolan Hardy, the senior, taking it around. He stepped out of bounds, though. Trojan ball gets it into the net of Scher. What a career he's had as senior keeper for Petaluma. 2 years as the goalkeeper, the anchor of that exceptional team last year for Petaluma. 14-4, 8-0 at MBL. Finished 61st in California, made it to the quarterfinals of NCS. It was a special squad last year, Petaluma Lacrosse. Of course, the most memorable one, the NBL Tournament Championship game against Casa Grande. Trojans coming back, scoring the tying goal late before the game winner right off the faceoff by Isaiah Blomgren. Over the middle. Slashing is going to be the call here on the Trojans. So Windsor will go a man up. 1 minute penalty on Petaluma for slashing. Nice offensive move by the Jaguars. Looking over the middle there, trying to get something going. They've gained some possession now, slowed down the play. Windsor, you got to find a way to start generating some offense, and they can potentially get back into this one. 3:50 remaining in the first. Andy Dutton, the senior, brings it up for the gold and black. A little kick and scoop by Gonzalez. Nice nifty play there. And he looks forward for Ratto, who just pokes it forward, trying to get it to Butts. There's an excellent aggression and technical skill by the senior. The Trojans have it back in the offensive position. Butts falling down, scores! What a move by the senior, and you can throw your hats onto the field. There's the hat trick. Well, you could see Butts was ready to do it on himself. Bowled over a Jaguar, split a couple defenders, and then falling over to his right, finishes to his left, and no shot for Goodfellow with the speed that was on that one. What a move by Butts to make it 7-0. The Trojans, as they look towards the postseason, the end of their year, they're going to need some more of those kind of plays. Again, possession for Trojans off the face-off. Chance for Petaluma to continue to extend this lead. 7-0 with 3 minutes remaining in the first. As the sun sets over Ellison Field, Gonzalez went through a whole pack of Jaguars, and he stepped in the crease. So that will be Windsor ball. Ryan Ramos, the senior, lost it. Another of the 11 seniors being honored tonight. He's been one of those newer seniors that's provided some nice play for Petaluma over the course of the season. Really played well defensively for the Trojans in their victory over Rancho Cotati earlier that we streamed. Knocked away as it was Ethan Catcoy taking it forward for the Jags. It's going to stay Jaguar ball. Petaluma back at even strength after that brief penalty did not affect them by any means. You can hear Dante Ratto, junior captain, communicating. He's the leader for Petaluma vocally for this squad, the long sticker. He'll be senior class president next year, so he certainly knows how to lead, no doubt, even as a junior. I think he has all the seniors' respect for the Trojans. Trojan defense not allowing any room, any movement for Windsor so far early in this game, still searching for their first goal. Taken away, and Rado takes it up and into the sunshine. To the X for the Trojans. They get some new faces in there. Julian Howard. And over to Butts. Already 3 goals on his afternoon. Devanus had a goal, sophomore. You'll see Baumstegger later as well has been a big part of this team. Was interesting after last game Trojan Live was at. We talked with Dominic Butts and Dante Rado, and they both said the same thing about the sophomores. And they didn't even know it. They were not near each other when I was interviewing them. As Devanus goes in and it's poked away. But both talked about the sophomores, especially Baumstegger, Devanus being so vital to this team, and the talent, raw talent they have really helps this team build themselves up, especially offensively in their goal-scoring prowess. And Petaluma needed some new faces and new goal scoring after the loss of Isaiah Blomgren and Ian Lynch from last year for the Trojans. Jaguars able to take that one away. But they're struggling to piece passes together early here as they throw it away. It's going to be Jaguar ball, only 6 seconds left here in the first quarter. And they will not even get a shot off. The Trojans, a smothering start to this one as they completely decimate the Jaguars in this first quarter. And it is going to be challenging for Windsor to complete a comeback. Petaluma 7, Windsor 0 at the end of 1 here from Steve Ellison Field. You can see the big crowd here tonight for Petaluma Boys Lacrosse. Many students in attendance, and except for the battle Trojans versus Casa, you're not going to get a bigger crowd than this to turn out to a game. Season opener for Petaluma was probably 1/8 of this size. I was making up about a sixth of the crowd, I think. But support has gained over the course of the year, and with so many seniors, Trojans always come out to support their teams, especially as the year comes to the end. Not a lot of more chances for all the senior students to experience Trojan athletics. The start of the second quarter here, we'll see if Windsor made any adjustments to try to get some goals, stifle this Trojan attack, and get back in this game. Petaluma leads 7-0. The Trojans scored the first 4 goals in the first 2 minutes. And if Petaluma can extend this to double digits or close to, you can basically put it on cruise control for the second half. Start focusing on Casa Grande and Rancho Cotati next week. Butts inside, decides to go that time. Such a smart IQ too, Dominic Butts. Can't really lavish more praise on him. He's just an outstanding athlete and such an outstanding guy as he scores again. Dipping and darting, he finds a crease and knows when the best point is to shoot. What a great lacrosse IQ he has. So vital to any athlete to have a good IQ in your sport. He makes it 8-0 as he has half of Petaluma's goals early in this one. And he just does it like it's nothing. He loves the sport, but no doubt he's athletic. He had an exceptional year on the wrestling team, including maybe the most memorable match of the Wrestling Egg Bowl this year that decided the VVAL title in Petaluma's favor, as he defeated Victor Medina of Casa, a comeback victory. And with Petaluma trailing early, it really changed the momentum of that wrestling match, and Medina took a couple slams at the mat, so frustrated after losing. Just that whole wrestling match, the whole VVAL pennant race for wrestling turned on Butts' upset victory as well. Medina's a good wrestler, and then he beat him again with ease at the VVAL tournament, went on his way to taking home the league championship individually for the VVAL, along with his league pennant as a team. The Trojans just continue to find seams as Freitas, again unassisted, it is just so easy, gets his way in and scores. It's just too easy right now for Petaluma. Surprisingly hard, Windsor, to just put bodies on bodies and really be able to limit this Trojan attack. But when you're so athletic, so disciplined as Petaluma is, and when they've come into this game with a lot of energy and clearly raised that energy level at the start of the second quarter, it's hard to stop, especially when you don't have the talent and athleticism to back it up, nor the experience for Windsor. A quick 2 goals, just a minute, 12 seconds into the second quarter. Fancy's been moved by Freitas. Always has a flair for the dramatic. Butts from long range scores! A howitzer from the senior. Oh, that can't be stopped by anyone. You saw you wanted it. Waited for the perfect opening and put it right past Goodfellow, who's shaking his head once again. He can't do anything to slow this Trojan attack. And his father, Coach Scott Goodfellow, could only watch in agony. 10-0, and Petaluma on a special night thrashing Windsor. 10:27 remaining in the second quarter. The scoreboard says it's the third, and I think if you're Windsor, you just wish it was. Probably already ready to make the trip. 40 minutes north on 101 back to the small hamlet outside Santa Rosa. Trojans again take possession. Just impossible for Windsor to get any rhythm with the limited possession they've had. Right down the middle, that one goes wide on the shot from Batista.
Shot, Fernando Batista.
Trojans take on Rancho Cotati on Wednesday night up in Roner Park. The way Petaluma is playing this tonight, if they play that way against the Cougars, it should not be an issue. As a huge crush by Ratto and Batista, but it appears a little too much. Cross-check Ratto, but only 30 seconds. Trojans will briefly go a man down. It's one of the one thing that Ratto needs to work on in his game. But a brief opportunity here for Windsor maybe to get something going. Petaluma dismantled Rancho 10-3. So that game was over by the second half. And hope to do that again in Roner Park. It'll be a good tune-up for them. 2 days later, they will take on Casa Grande for the second time this year. What a challenge it's going to be going up against the undefeated Gauchos as the Jaguars have their first goal. An awkward play in front of net. And it was Nolan Hardy, the senior, who somehow found the ball in his stick, and before anyone knew it, including Zach Scher, was in the back of the net. Jags grab a goal, making it 10-1, and stopping the excellent start for Petaluma to this one. '26 Friday night will be the Battle for the Paddle final regular season game of VVAL. Trojans, due to that loss to Justin Siena, Casa will clinch the VVAL title with a victory tonight against Rancho Cotati and a victory on Wednesday next week against Justin Siena. So in all likelihood that the league pennant will not be a factor for the Trojans in that game, but obviously the battle for the paddle, try to win for the second straight year, something that has not been done in Petaluma history. Will be the very final regular season game and possibly the final game for all these seniors as Ernie Gonzalez finds some room and scores. Well, the defense just evaporated for Windsor like a puddle in the sun, and it was an easy finish for Gonzalez, who grabs his first goal of the evening, 11-1. That Egg Bowl game also be just looking for revenge against the rivals. Trojans were squashed by Casa the first time around. 15-3 was the score back on April 10th. Trojans came into that game on a win streak, had won 4 straight games. Thought they could compete with the Gauchos, but were really outclassed. We'll see what adjustments they can make, but will it even be enough? Because the talent level for Casa just so remarkably high. Casa 17-0, 7-0 in VVAL so far. 13th ranked in the state, 82nd ranked in the nation, and 3rd currently in a very good NCS Division 1. Potentially going to that game still without a loss. They played some close games, but the senior class they have over there, they are remarkably good. Nice play by Goodfellow to make the save as the Jaguars get it. Butts nearly intercepts it. And 42, and the pink cleats for Windsor just out of control, unable to hold on to things. It's been that kind of night for Windsor. Hensel for the Jags. And the last rays of sunlight over Steve Ellison Field. You can see the beautiful green hills in the background with all the rain. The hills have looked especially nice this year up in Sonoma and Marin County with all the rain. The rain finally done now. It's been beautiful weather. Enjoy the outdoors. Supposed to reach 80 tomorrow. Been upper 70s, and you're perfect for now lacrosse after a lot of these players that just suffer in a lot of rainy games early. What a goal! Turning around in the back flick. Even some of the Petaluma fans applauding. That was impressive. As the Jaguars get on the board for the second time, it was Charlie Velasquez, the senior. And a lot of traffic, and Ken Scher, I don't think he ever saw the ball. Knocked it out after it already was in the net.
Goal, I believe, unassisted Hardy.
7:30 remaining in the second. The PA announcer called the wrong goal scorer, which is leaving Windsor quite upset. But they have to focus on finding a way to score those consistently if they want to march back in this one. Trailing again by 9 as we reach the halfway point of the second. Penalty on Freitas on the faceoff. Gonzalez, I should say. Possession to the Jaguars. Spinning, dipping, and darting as the Jaguars get it to the X. Don't have the passing ability to cut that you expect of a team at this point in the season. 2 months in, only a couple weeks left for Windsor in their year. Petaluma, after that Casa game, will still get the VVAL tournament, depending on goal differential potentially at home against Justin Siena or on the road. Or based on standings, if either the Braves or the Trojans can upset the Gauchos. And then if Petaluma can win tonight and win Wednesday against Rancho, they'll clinch an NCS playoff spot, no matter what happens in the VBAL tournament. And would be able to continue their season in the NCS playoff potentially at home, currently projected as an 8 seed for NCS Division II, and projected to play Terra Linda, a team they beat up last year as Ratto fires from afar, and Goodfellow makes the save.
Shot Ratto.
As we reach the 6-minute mark here at Ellison Field in the second, Butts with the steal. The Trojans want to get these big margins of victories against not good competition. Will help with the NCS playoff committee. Excellent pass. Freitas fires wide. Some maintenance as Windsor waits. Timeout. It's going to be the calls. Wondering why Jaguar was adjusting his wristband. Windsor maybe hoping to draw up some offensive plays and get something going. They need a spark as they trail 11-2, 5-11 remaining here in the second quarter as the Trojans celebrate their seniors on senior night. Timeout complete for Windsor. See what they've drawn up in the huddle. Looking to cut the lead from 9. Poked away, fired as it got in the middle and deflected. Out of play. Trojans have been dealing with some injuries as well. As you can, two of their most vital players, you can see Austin Frank and Jacob Daniele, who Frank, the senior leader, and Daniele, an excellent defensive player for Petaluma, both returning varsity players, been out for the last couple weeks with injuries. I was hoping to get them back soon, but that has dearly hurt Petaluma. And I have to pray they can be back potentially next week against Casa, and that can help make a difference when they face the Gauchos. Freitas takes it away and sprinting down the field with his exceptional speed that helped him get over 1,000 yards rushing as a football player on display. What a career he had at Ellison Field. Be more remembered for football, but last couple years on varsity for lacrosse has been awfully impressive as well, I would say. Especially this year, he's really been a focal point of this offense. Head coach Kevin Lochis has used his speed and athleticism really to the benefit of his team, to the tune of 6 victories. And a lot of blowouts so far in VVAL. It's really been only Justin Siena and Casa that have given Petaluma issues.
Shot Bumsteiner. Save Goodfellow.
Devanus already has 1. Spinning and turning. Is so long and lengthy. Can use that size, really helpful. Saw it with the Lynch brothers last year for Petaluma. Could bounce right off defenders and score. Heads out Windsor ball, 2:45 and counting remaining here. Petaluma jumped on Windsor quick, 4 goals in the first 2 minutes when a lot of fans were still filing in. And extended that to 8-0 by the end of 1. That possession for nearly the entire first quarter. It was just a lot of easy goals right down Main Street. Butts had a hat trick in the first quarter. Petaluma been in control since, added 2 very quickly in the second to kind of really stamp their dominance before Windsor's grabbed a couple more, but still 11-2. That is how it's been really all Petaluma from the start. Braden Cristobal, the senior, another senior in some action. As they get it to Matt Baumstegger, the sophomore. And back to Freitas, the heartbeat of this team. Trojans lost a lot from last year to replace, but see it with all the seniors playing out here and making the impact. There's going to be a lot more adjustments for Petaluma next year, a lot more people to replace. Won't be easy, but with those 2 sophomores in Devanus and Baumstegger and the junior core, Daniele, Howard, Ratto, future's still bright, no doubt. The Gauchos will lose many of their seniors. It's a check as Devanus nearly got the ball stolen from him, but not without infraction. So you approach the 1-minute mark remaining in the first half, right over the middle. That would have been a gorgeous goal by Gonzalez, who already has 1. It's going to be cross-checking on Petaluma. As they get it forward and opening in the defense, and Scher fends it off. What a play by Zach Scher. 1-on-1 with Andy Dutton, and Scher won the battle. His first save of the night. He's basically had no action, but when he needs to come up big, the senior keeper, as he gets the fist bump from the captain Ratto, with an impressive denial. An exceptional career for the keeper. It's been a quiet night tonight, but he has had the flair for the dramatic points this year and last, coming up with some massive saves to help Petaluma. And that will maybe be the biggest adjustment of all, so Trojans look towards next year. It will be the goalkeeper. Scher has been such a steady force for Petaluma. It's no doubt he's made a big, big difference. Under a minute left to go here as Windsor throws it around. In the middle, and Scher pokes it away again. Denial by the keeper. Windsor badly trying to push for something here, but Scher grabs it in his net and throws it forward to Ratto, who can't corral it. Somehow able to steal it away, though. 20 seconds to go as they get it forward to Butts. A 1-on-2 with the senior star trying to do it himself. It gets away. 10 seconds remaining here, and Windsor can run out the clock on a painful first half for them. 24 minutes in the books, and it is all Petaluma at the end of the first half. The Trojans on their senior night lead Windsor 11-2. Second half getting underway here with Petaluma leading Windsor 11-2 as the sun is set completely over Elson Field and now bathed in light. Nice ceremony at halftime where the seniors' names were read off along with their favorite memories, experience, future plans, and who will be escorting them in the ceremony right after the game that we will bring to you along with interviews. An emotional night for all 11 Petaluma seniors. Certainly a range of experiences. Players like Zach Scher, Dominic Butts, 10, 15 years on lacrosse, but some of the other players that are seniors have not been around as long, just tried to come out for lacrosse their senior year, just the last few years. And with the Petaluma River Cats certainly have an excellent foundation of lacrosse for young kids these days, and more Costa and Petaluma are the dominant lacrosse programs in the region because of the River Cats start kids playing lacrosse from the day they're able to hold a stick. Spinning and turning. Losing it was Dutton. See Windsor with a little extra energy to start things off here. No rhythm so far. It's into the net a share. Windsor, 2 more games left in their schedule, all on the road. They've had the unfortunate circumstance of Windsor field under repair, so the second half of their season has been all on the road. They play at Sonoma Academy tomorrow, the one team they've beaten this year, so potentially they'll be looking up for that one. We have an infraction on Petaluma, and a change will be made. There's a goalkeeping change actually for Petaluma. Dylan Ewing, the sophomore, is now in for the Trojans. And Cher was just warming up on the track, so he might be coming back in on his senior night, but the Trojans decided to get the backup Ewing some time. Get some good experience. He likely will be that starting goalkeeper next year for Petaluma, potentially for the next 2 years in that big-time spot. Windsor, they wrap up their season next week in Napa against Justin Siano. Another stoppage here, a clunky start to the second half. Real adjustments or rhythm developed. After both teams spent some time in the locker room. Windsor did not talk a lot, though. It's a rough season like this. You don't win a lot. It's hard to keep your heads up, keep fighting, and Windsor came out in this game. They looked pretty dead, and Petaluma, I mean, alive with energy. Credit to them for the way they came out in this game. Quickly scoring, putting Windsor on the back foot. Just some electric offense early. Really fighting, using their athleticism. Came in with a game plan. We're upset about the close loss yesterday to the Miramonte Matadors. That is the East Bay and Moraga. But no problem this evening. On a special night, you want to always win on your senior night. Another big reason it's tonight, not against Casa Grande, with so many other factors going into that game. Similar to football did not have their senior night against Casa in the Egg Bowl the Friday before. Hoping not for deja vu again, where it was a victory, Petaluma on senior night, and a loss in the Egg Bowl the following week. Trojans beat Casa 3 times last year, hoping not to see a reversal this year. It was reading the favorite memories of the seniors. That was by far the majority, their favorite memory of the defeat of the crosstown rivals. So important as Cher is getting some offense here. He's still in the sweats, but he's racing around and looking nimble out there on the field, having some fun. He kind of just swatting for it, hoping for something. They give him a little time, and now I think they're going to call a penalty late on Cher for swatting. I'm not sure he totally remembers what he's doing out there. He's not used to being out on the turf as a nimble player. He's a midfielder. He'll come out, but a nice little time for Cher to place a new position on a special night. So they give Ewing some time.
Man up, Windsor.
Cher will spend some time in the box. Also a rarity for him. Provide some comedy tonight. 8:30 and counting left to go. Still no goals so far in this third quarter, with Petaluma leading by 9. Dominic Butts, 4 goals to lead the Trojans. Garrett Freitas has 3 goals. Kearney Gonzalez and Devanus have chipped in 1. That shot heads high. Will stay with Windsor.
Shot paint.
Freitas takes it away. Kinnear's a large family, 3 sisters. Very athletic as well, encouraging him on. Ratto. To the X. And this is Howard. To the senior Butts. How can he finish off his spectacular career? Hoping for a couple more victories. He takes it around trying to get it to Cher. Instead it goes behind where it deflects out. Look, I thought it actually hit the net and came out, but
Sebastian Gonzalez.
not the ruling on the shot by Gonzalez.
Colby.
Also a goalkeeping change for Windsor in net. We saw Goodfellow in there earlier, but they now have Cooper Colby, the sophomore, getting some time. Only a few seniors on Windsor, a lot of youth. Time to try to build something, and if they can gain some coaching stability, maybe good things will happen. It's a league where you can get some victories, the likes of Newman and Rancho. A weird goal there. We've seen a few by Windsor. That one up over the top by Hardy, I believe. No, it didn't go in. No, Ewing got a stick on it, I guess. Basically just reached right over on top of the goal, and Ewing turned around and was a little surprised, but able to keep it out. Our awkward-looking play in front of net. It's been the one issue for the Trojan defense, but it is hard to stay locked in 24/7. Goal, I think, here for Petaluma, just make sure Windsor does not get back into this game. It was a similar score when these teams last time played, and Windsor got the game tight before Petaluma was able to pull away. Be a stretch to come back from this deficit, but it certainly could get a little closer. Petaluma's not careful so far, though, tight defense, but haven't been able to add anything, so we're halfway through this third. Windsor gets it out wide. Old Tyler Lincoln. Fired, and Ewing fends it off. Nice play by the sophomore. Cher's still out there. Mentioned the majoring in psychology, which isn't a surprise. Life of the goalkeeper, you got to be mentally strong, which any good psychologist is for certain. Headed to Humboldt State next year. Ewing does a nice job fending off that. Nice move.
Shot Ray
Ray
Save Ewing.
Jaden Rayball, it is the junior. The nifty move, but Ewing's holding his own as well for Petaluma in net, hasn't allowed anything in. Giving Cher some extra time as Rayball fires again. And Ewing again fighting it off.
Shot Ray
Running clock now in this blowout. Should make this game speed up as a full moon over Steve Ellison Field. High in the sky there. It's been a lively atmosphere with Petaluma up big and a large crowd cheering on their seniors, many students with signs and cheering throughout this one. Tight defense by Petaluma. So they get it out. Streaking down the field. Inside to Cher, he scores! The stands are up. The goalkeeper's got a goal.
Assist Bucks.
Oh, you can see the teammates love it. What a moment for the senior on his senior tonight. That will be one he will never forget. The Trojans bring it up, fast break, excellent play, and Cher maybe gets the goal that officially puts the lock and key on this W for Petaluma. What a moment, these stands erupted. And you could see what it meant to the whole team to get their goalkeeper out there on the offense and get him a goal. All the hard work, dirty work, it's not sexy, and you're only really criticized. You're not celebrated as a goalkeeper most of the time. Expect just to do your job. Get a chance to do the more fun things, score some goals. Good to see. 12-2 is Petaluma's lead extended back to 10. It's just under 4:30 remaining in this third quarter. What a job head coach Kevin Lochis in his 5th season, all 5 years Petaluma as a program has done with this young squad. He's really developed them over the course of the year. They had a slow start to the year, no doubt. 6-6 now, but took a while for Petaluma to find their stride. We were at their first game against Branson, blew a lead. The talent's always been there, but Lochis has really built up this team and had to have them work together. It's taken some time to get them there. Trojans lost 9-6 to Acalanes. Their second game got a big victory over University as Ewing able to get down and make the save on Kane. But still, they lost 3 of their first 4, a little bit down into the dumps, heading into VVAL. Big victory over Justin Siena to open it up. That's poked away. Howard trying to get the shot. Led big in that Justin Siena game. Blew, though, the lead. It's been the one issue for Petaluma this year. I've blown a lot of leads, and things have gotten closer than you like. That Branson game, it actually resulted in a loss. And then after that Justin Siena game, 3 straight wins before the loss to Casa Grande. And then kind of you could see it coming, the second loss to Justin Siena last week for Petaluma, and blown out too, a 9-4 loss to the Braves. Was never close in Napa, just 2 days after that Casa loss. Really a letdown game for the Trojans, and they just never had it against a Brave team searching for revenge. Howard tries to shoot, but his stick pulled from behind. It deflects wide. And Petaluma was able to turn things around. The very next day, faced Cardinal Newman back here at Ellison Field and kind of fought out an ugly 8-5 victory over the Cardinals. Now looking like they're going to get their 7th victory of the season here today, along with their 6th in VVAL. They've got a winning record every year in the league. First 4 years in the NBL, now in the VVAL. Not much of a change in the league, but Justin Siena has provided some good competition. The one new team making their way from MCAL. Mainly just a new name on the same brand. A scrum forward. The foul is on Petaluma. Windsor possession. The Jaguars goalless in this 3rd quarter. Unable to mount any sort of comeback so far like they did the first time around these 2 teams faced off. Windsor trying to settle in their offense. Mentioned it earlier, though. They just don't have a lot of plays or cuts that can out-physical or be more athletic than Petaluma. And if you are the less physical and less athletic team to be so technically sounder, it's going to be really hard to get anything going, especially offensively. Defense, if you just bring intensity, can work out, but it's pretty much impossible on the offensive end to score if you don't have those traits. Windsor is still developing that as a team and a program. Eric McClowski, the senior, taking it up, one of the 11 honored tonight. The senior is a longtime lacrosse player and special bond with Austin Frank. They were favorite memories, involved each other. McClowski, it was earning more money than Austin Frank, who's injured, not playing tonight, but big factor on this Petaluma team. And Austin's favorite memory was throwing Eric McClowski into a tree during practice. Special bond. It's good chemistry on this team, even though young. Under 1:30 to go in the 3rd, 12-2 Petaluma. It's beautiful, still pretty newly renovated Steve Ellison Field. More action here tomorrow night. Girls lacrosse teams battle for the paddle. Petaluma faces Casa, hoping for some sort of miracle. It's been a rough year for the girls lacrosse team. Just 2 league victories on the season. They sit in 5th place. But they were able to compete at least with Casa the first time around. It was close until the 3rd, but the Gauchos had a great year in the VVAL, still without a loss. They'll be heavy favorites to win the battle for the paddle for the 2nd straight year. After outdoing Petaluma last year, such a young Trojan girls lacrosse team, things have been tough we will be here next week on their senior night against Sonoma Academy. It'll be their final game of the year. They have just 4 seniors on the team, but worked hard to lead a young squad and try to build something over the course of the year. Team's kept their head up, if nothing else. It's been hard. They've had a lot of injuries, some players ineligible as well. Just been sorting through backup goalkeepers tomorrow, which will give them a boost. Audrey Nagy returns, their starting senior keeper. The save made on the butt shot. So we'll see if maybe that helps out Petaluma tomorrow night against Casa Grande.
Save Colby.
Only 14 seconds left here in the third quarter. Just 1 goal scored, but it was a big one. The share goal really closed the door on this game. Any chance of a Windsor comeback, and this crowd, large crowd, nearly half filling the stands, and these are big stands, erupted in glee at the heartwarming goal from Cher. Howard before the buzzer. Save is made. That will do it.
Shot Howard.
12 more minutes left to go, and the Trojans have put the car on cruise control, and they are speeding right towards a victory on their senior night. Trojans 12, Jaguars 2. Ready for the final 12 minutes of many of these seniors' careers in their senior night here at Allison Field. Expect Coach Loches to play many of them in their final memories and moments they'll have before heading off to college. Only limited time left in the year. You're at Petaluma High School, 5 more weeks and change. Sports winding down as well. The girls lacrosse senior night next week. Baseball and softball will be in a couple more weeks. Swim senior night last night. Girls swim team got a big victory over Casa Grande. Part of a very good year for them. Share, Butts. And the 4 goals in the first half, 3 in the first quarter. He starts so well, looking for 5. It deflects in front of the net.
Shot Butts.
Right down Main Street, firing and scoring. Freitas has goal number 4. Big night for Big G. Just speed and an exceptional placement as well. As the great senior night for him continues. He started things off just 12 seconds in with a goal, and ever since, Windsor has been on the back foot. It's the biggest lead now of the game for Petaluma, 13-2. 11 minutes remaining in this one. And he's been masterful as well. The face-offs for Petaluma, probably 80% possession in this one, be even more if this game was tighter. But with the possession of that, the game is just not going to be that close. Just the reality. Hard check there by Cristobal, another senior. Can't do that, though. At least not that hard. Spin, fire. Nice play by Ewan. A sophomore showing he's got some goalkeeping prowess. There's nothing to be afraid of next year for Petaluma fans. We're going to be worried about losing Cher. I mean, Ewan won't have the experience Cher's been through. Played in games with 500 people in the stands here. Steve Ellison Field for the Battle for the POW game, and then the NBL Tournament Championship game, which we both streamed here. Those are massive crowds Friday nights. Incredible atmosphere for those two. Ewing to Devanus. Room for the senior, cuts to Freitas, who fires. Save is made. The Trojans pressing again here, trying to add a couple more to the total. And a scrum right in front of the crease. And it's in the net. And guess who it is again? Cher's got number 2. He let in a couple weird goals. There's a weird goal for himself.
Goal
Just put bodies in front of the net. You never know what's going to happen. And Cher is able to snare it. Just under the 10-minute mark. And extends the lead 14-2. A good first effort. Made a couple of nice saves. Didn't have too much action. And oh, he's going to have some fun.
Possession Petaluma.
Behind a share on the X. Devanus, talented sophomore Spinneys. It's really a nice game tonight, been very active. Part of his team that will be here for the long run. Drones rotating around, and here Coach Kevin Loach's assistants yelling. They want this team to keep this intensity. It's good practice, if nothing else. Butts tries to fire, hard
Shot
check.
blocks.
It's deflected. It's been a good crowd, good atmosphere tonight. Look at some of the other Trojan sports going around, and what a rough patch it is for the baseball team. They've been at the prestigious Boris tournament. That looked like a hand pass, no call. Windsor takes it up here. Give Ewing some more tests potentially, but Freitas is going to take it away first. Now whistle. Baseball team has dropped 6 games in a row now, including the first 3 at the Scott Boris tournament. Well, it's maybe top tournament in all Northern California for high school baseball, but the Trojans dropped some league games they shouldn't have blown out, and they've been blown out consistently now in the tournament. But things hit a new low today, facing rival Casa Grande. Second straight year at the Boris tournament. Both teams coming in 0-2. Petaluma did not record a single hit. They were no hit, and it wasn't by Chris Sanchez, the ace for Casa Grande, either. Trojans hitting, pitching, it's all a mess right now. They even made 3 errors today. They're searching for answers. They'll have one more game tomorrow to hope to salvage something from their so far very distasteful week at Sacramento. And then league starts again next week for them, but if they don't turn things around, it could get ugly fast. Softball team, it has been much better. They take on Napa tomorrow, and that will be a important game. Petaluma, what a comeback victory they had over Napa. The first leg, those 2 teams faced off. Trojans came from behind against the Grizzlies 3 times. It went all the way to the 9th inning. 7 innings for high school softball. The Trojans finally walk off on a walk-off steal by Logan Pomey. Oh, what a check. Gonzalez there. Trojans are still fighting out there, still pressuring the Jaguars. They aren't going to stop. And there's currently a 4-way tie at the top in the PVAL for softball. Every game's going to be important. Napa, Vintage, Petaluma, and American Canyon all currently sitting up at the top. But Casa Grande and Sonoma Valley are hanging on. They're both just 1 game back. There's so much parity, and the teams are so talented in VVL softball. I'd say of any sport you could pick, it is likely the most elite teams across the board in VVL for softball. Probably the best softball league in the entire North Bay. The Trojans currently projected as a high NCS seed. Going to try to win a VVL title. It's not going to be easy, but second half starts tomorrow against Napa. Should be fun. They will face Casa Grande twice next week. We'll have their home game against Casa next Tuesday. It's our next live stream here on the Trojan Live YouTube channel, so be sure to check that out. Gonzalez on the shot there. Save was made by Cooper Colby, who's fought valiantly in net between the pipes. That one hits the post. It's rolling right in the crease. Butts just try to poke it in for goal number 5. Outside, fired wide.
Shot to Venus.
Big night for DeVanis. A goal, been active out there, and the sophomores got a lot of playing time, even with all the seniors. So we approach the halfway point of this fourth quarter. The Trojans led early, led throughout. It has been a start-to-finish dominance, and Petaluma hasn't played a lot of complete games this year, let teams back in games, but you have to be happy with tonight if you're Petaluma the way they've done it. Baumstegger couldn't find the net. Butts taking his time. He's done this a lot today. Finds his teammate, fires, and scores. Julian Howard with the goal. Had one against Newman in that victory on Saturday. And Howard's got another one with a howitzer to the top right-hand corner. Butts can be a good teammate too. So impressive. 15-2. Trojans put it on cruise control in the second half, but even then they've still fought hard and continue to search for more goals. The lead 13.
Possession Petaluma.
Trojans keep possession. It's been another big storyline today. Right back inside. Nice job making the save. Howard looking for more goals on the evening. Other games across VVAL today as league standings are being sorted out. Newman and Rancho battling right now for the 4th seed and an invitation to the VVAL tournament. Casa playing Rancho tonight. And Newman facing Justin Siena. Fended off again on the shot by Gonzalez.
Save Colby.
5 minutes remaining. Another sport that has been in the news lately for Petaluma, the badminton team. They still got a shot at VVL title. Softball team does. It's the badminton team, the other one. Do not want to see an injury late here. Petaluma suffered a couple on the varsity level, but see, you got the number on the Trojan. It's a little slow. It is Butts, who's the last person you want to see get banged up if you're Petaluma. He's going to limp off, a little gimpy, but looking to be all right. You hope so if you're Petaluma. You got a week off, though, until Rancho next week, so plenty of time for them to heal up, rest up, prepare up for their final 2 games of the regular season, followed by the VVL tournament the next week, and then NCS. Trojans are looking like they're headed on their way towards qualifying for the NCS playoffs. They have every year, had a winning record every year. Badminton team talking about, they are currently in a tie with Casa Grande for first place in VVAL. Their second half of their season has already started. Beat Napa a second time last week. They got a big one against American Canyon, who is also tied for first place. It's a three-way tie right now. They beat American Canyon beat Casa Grande. Petaluma lost to Casa. Petaluma beat American Canyon. Face a second time here in Petaluma on Thursday, tomorrow. The Trojans get a victory there. They certainly set them off with a shot to win a title. What a move inside, and a goal. Gonzalez de Freitas, that was gorgeous with a capital G to go with the capital G in Garrett's first name. Couldn't have drawn it up any better on the whiteboard of the playbook. Gonzalez de Freitas, 16-2. Just excellent awareness in chemistry to be able to find your teammate there right down the middle. And Windsor has struggled all night to do it, put bodies on players, keep them in their sights. It's going to be the biggest victory, it looks like, of the year for Petaluma, and certainly I think the most complete game they played. Not the best team, obviously, they played, but they have made this one a rout. Coming in, the biggest victory was the 10-3 victory over Rancho Cotati, a 7-goal lead. This one's 14. It's hard to count when the number gets that high. That one's fired and just misses. Turns a couple new faces out there, but Butts is back out there, so guess he was all right. That's the good news for Petaluma. It was just a little gimpy, hit hard. They had it right back to the senior. And we'll have the senior ceremony and some interviews after this one. It's Trojans Live's final boys lax coverage in all likelihood of the season. I want to thank all the boys lacrosse players over the last 3 years. In fact, for me, covering this team. Obviously, the memories last year with Isaiah Blomgren's game-winning goal and that whole team last year, so fun to cover, and their accomplishments really captivating a school. But this team's been exciting as well, and growing lacrosse has certainly been fun to cover in my 3 years here. That was a truck over Howard. A nice move there. My future is bright. Certainly, Trojans will continue to cover very strong program that is continuing to pipe out quality committed players and continuing to compete at the top of league, compete for league pennants and trophies, and in NCS every year. All players have interviewed. Coach Kevin Lochis, accessibility, coverage, getting scores, it's certainly been wonderful. Trojans almost got it to Batista. It's 2:30, you can see it. Some spare change in the pocket remaining. This Wednesday night here from Steve Ellison Field, mid-April. Baumstegger with it, sophomore. Freitas, a big one tonight. 4 goals for him. Looking for goal number 5 over the bar.
Shot Freitas.
Scher is re-entered. Takes a go for it. It was an awkward looking shot. A long range. Will be able to fend it off. Trojans getting their last licks in here. Senior night. Ewan's been another bright spot for Petaluma. Great playing goal, and he's looking like he's going to pitch a second-half shutout. Petaluma hasn't been tested a lot, but he's been a steady force in there. Hasn't looked nervy at all, and it's been very impressive for Petaluma. Future in goal. Final minute of Dom Butts' senior night. What a career. He's had 4 years on varsity for him, and another 5+ goal game. The 4th time this year he scored at least 5 goals in a game. That is unparalleled. Not going to see that much. A couple players on cost that could maybe top that. But still has at least 1 more, if not 2 more shots against the Gauchos in the VVAL tournament. A couple more weeks left. Shot is fired wide. Gary Elwood on massive playing time, the senior tonight. "30 seconds remaining here. Final regular season home game for Petaluma. What a hit on the outside. My goodness. Well, Elwood, 3-year varsity player. He's one never afraid to take the contact. How about going out with a big on your senior night? My goodness. A massive check. And it'll be Petaluma ball. Elwood rides a motorcycle. He's a tough man. Also a caring guy. Five seconds remaining in this one, and that will do it. There's the horn. The Trojans play maybe their most complete game of the season, start to close. They absolutely thrash Windsor 16-2, and the Trojans send their seniors out the right way, and they can move on to the apex of their season, certainly playing the right kind of lacrosse right now. Final score here from Petaluma. Trojans 16, Jaguars 2. Senior ceremony and interviews are next. We start the senior ceremony here down on the field. We're going to let you listen in.
What's your favorite lacrosse memory?
My favorite lacrosse memory is definitely fishing
Yeah. Okay, let's get like a language warning on the further future.
Garrett Freitas.
My name's Ernie Gonzalez. This is my sister Becky, my mother Stella, and my father Ernesto. And my favorite memory is definitely coming to every practice and listening to Dante's extensive vocabulary that he chooses.
Ernie Gonzalez.
Mom, you told me not to get a
Dom, introduce yourself.
I was like,
Dominic, my mom Antoinette, my dad Brian. My favorite lacrosse memory is obviously beating Casa 3 times last year, and just coming to practice every day with these guys. Like, I love this group. It's just fun, just like playing with them every day.
Dominic Butts.
Gary, introduce yourself.
My name's Gary Owen. This is my dad, David, my mom, Pamela. And my favorite lacrosse memory was definitely going 13-0 last year for league, but especially winning the paddle for Casa.
Gary Elwood.
I know, it's just I don't want to hear about that over and over. Just reword it. Hi, I'm Brayden. My dad. Hey, smack. Conte, get in the back.
One of my favorite memories was playing JV with Ryan and SB last year, and getting brought up.
It's Raiden Cristobal.
Hi everyone, I'm SB. My family's here to join me tonight. My favorite memory personally was JV year. I climbed the announcement box. To the top. I was terrified. That was probably one of my favorite memories.
SB Schaefer.
Allegedly.
My mom Donnie and my dad Mike, and my favorite memory was probably beating Costa.
Austin Frank. Coach Loesch is getting a little tired of beating Casa. His favorite memory.
Not playing freshman year and then starting sophomore. What about your 50-yard goal?
Oh yeah. If I
had a third choice.
It's Austin Frank.
I'm here with my dad, Greg, my sister Allison, and my mom Amy. And my favorite memory has to be watching Zach score a goal.
Ryan Ramos.
I'm Eric, this is mom Gina, father Tim. My favorite memory definitely has to be after beating Costa last year. Not during beating Costa, just a nice static stretch in the middle of the field. No, that was not fun.
Eric McCloskey.
Just really quick,
Yes.
I have to really embarrass Gina. She's done so much to help. No, seriously, all the operation that happens around the lacrosse games and practices, we owe all that to Gina. Thank you so much. Gina. Yeah.
I was gonna say, but you guys all show up, so thank you. It means you're reading my emails. Thank you. You're welcome.
I'm here with my father.
Say your name.
Oh, I'm Zach Shear.
Yay!
And I'm here with my father and my mom and my stepdad, Marty, Jill, and John. I'd have to say my most favorable moment would probably be just seeing this team grow and winning Petaluma.
Yeah.
Starting goalkeeper Zach Scher.
Nice. And making a goal.
Hi everyone, my name is Parker. This is my mom Stacy and my dad Roy. And I think one of my favorite memories of lacrosse is just coming out on the field every day with such a good group of hardworking players, and everyone's really accepting because this is my first year and I'm just really proud of how much the team has grown. So thank you very much.
Yeah, Jacob!
Parker Loden and Jacob Weber to wrap things up.
Yeah, Aaron! Call her up. It's a minion. You're mini-me. Yes.
My favorite memory is probably was the best year I've ever played.
Smile, Aaron. Come on.
There's your Caesar ceremony, and we'll have interviews next. With Garrett Freitas after Trojans have a big senior night victory. Your senior night, you put I think 5 goals up on the board. What did this all mean to you?
It means a lot. To come, it's not our last home game, but it's one of the last home games, and I don't know. It's great to have all the support, and I'm glad that I could do what I did. And yeah.
You guys had your biggest victory of the season. Really felt like you finally put a complete game together. You guys were really able to play hard from opening whistle to the last whistle.
I think it started with warm-ups. The past few games we've been really slow in warm-ups. And I don't know, we just came out excited. Senior night helped, all the support helped a lot. And I don't know, I think bringing energy from the start is a big key to winning the game. We came out hot and we just didn't stop.
Everyone knows about your athleticism on the football field, but obviously do a lot for the lacrosse team as well. How do you use that athleticism and what you learn in football to translate to the lacrosse field?
They're a little different, but I don't know, I just use my vision and the help of my teammates to get me open and to find them. And yeah, it's help from everyone, and like without the rest of my team, without the defense playing well, then I wouldn't be scoring goals.
Thank you so much, Garrett. Congratulations. Andrew Devinas after Petaluma routs Windsor. It was a big night, senior night for the 11 seniors, and you played a big part in the victory. What was your mentality going out when it's a big night for a lot of the other players?
Really just kind of keeping it calm and letting the game flow, and then just playing off all the other players. And I mean, there's a lot of talent on the team, so really playing with them was a big part of that.
We talked to some upperclassmen in my last interviews, and both of them talked about you and Matt and Dylan and the sophomores' importance on this team. What do you guys think your roles on the team, and how do you help the team overall?
I think a big thing is that we're going to lead the team in years to come, and I think that's really important to kind of keep on focusing on building the future of this team for years to come. So.
You guys had great chemistry tonight, a lot of goals scored. How important is the chemistry to this team's success?
I think our chemistry is really important. I mean, and we all work really well together, so it really helps.
Thank you so much, Andrew. Congratulations on the victory.
Thank you.
For 3 Trojan seniors, 3 of the 11 that were honored here tonight. What did the senior ceremony, the final game besides Battle for the Paddle for you guys on the field, what did that mean for you guys tonight?
Tonight it was all about the seniors showing up, showing everyone how we play together, how 4 years of constant practice has led us to be one hell of a team.
Michael Jordan.
And you guys have spent so much on this field, and you really put a complete game together. How was senior night and everything you've been through, the ups and downs this year, really able to play one of your best games of the season tonight?
Well, I really believe that being able to play with our brothers, sharing a bond with people that we all love, coming out every day, spending 2.5 hours just playing with each other, it really helps our team build and have the chemistry just go through the roof.
Zach, you had a goal to 2 goals tonight as a goalkeeper, getting to play some offense. What did that mean to you, because you spent so much time in between the posts?
Honestly, it was just a great moment. I love getting to play a different position, I played some attack before, so I had some experience, but it felt really good getting those goals.
Guys have been through a lot with this program. What's the lasting memory that you're going to remember with this group and over your career with Petaluma Lacrosse?
Most definitely just the bond that we have between, a couple of guys in high school that wouldn't have known each other otherwise show up to a field, and we started to know what we're thinking before we even do it.
Honestly, all of us just putting our hearts on the field and giving it our all.
Yeah, I agree with them. We really just have to play as a family to win games, and I think when we actually play together, we can beat any team.
Thank you guys so much. Congratulations on your careers. The lights going out here in Petaluma as the lights go out in 11 seniors' careers for Petaluma Lacrosse. What exceptional careers, hello, for Petaluma Lacrosse. the NBL title last year, and so far this year, a lot of success, including tonight, a blowout victory over Windsor, an exceptional game. They really put it together tonight. We'll see if they can continue that success going forward with Casa Grande next week. The NBL tournament NCS really should be interesting to see if this squad, which is a family, can really go out the way they want to. That's a wrap here from Steve Ellison Field. For everyone here at Trojan Live, I'm Griffin Epstein. Once again, the final score on Petaluma Lacrosse's senior night. It's all Trojans. Petaluma 14, Windsor 2. Good night from Ellison Field.